Today we have a dusty, sexy track from one of the members of the biggest K-pop boy groups, Road to Kingdom champions, and multilingual baddies making us do the left, right, left, right. It's time for the December 2024 Pop Off.
And this month, we're joined by Sarah of Tokkistar. Welcome. We're so excited to have you. So Tokkistar is a media outlet that originated as a YouTube channel back in 2016. And since then, it has evolved into a full-fledged digital media website. And they've interviewed acts such as Card, 82 Major, and even Chantel. So Sarah, please introduce yourself and Tokkistar to our listeners.
Well, hello, my name is Sarah, and I'm the owner of Tokkistar. We are a YouTube channel. Well, we originally were a YouTube channel and then evolved into a website over the years. And over the past 8 years, we've had the opportunity to interview some great people, Chantel being one of them. And we've also been afforded a lot of great opportunities and met some great individuals along this journey within the K-pop industry.
This is true. Y'all don't know, but like before Cookie Lit and all those other people that came up, Tokkistar was on was on it. Something came out, they were on it. I mean, y'all still are, but I feel like you guys don't focus on like the mess as much as Cookie Lit, or other sites like that do, which is much appreciated because then you're just getting a very streamlined, informed um, bit of information. And I love the interviews you've had. Like they've had really good interviews, and I've been introduced to a lot of people because of Tokkistar. So I'm so excited to have you here.
Wait, so Sarah, what's your experience with K-pop and Asian pop in general? How did you get into it, and what are some of your favorites?
Oh, so I was 12. It was a
Mm.
dark and stormy night. And this is back on YouTube where they used to show you what people were watching.
Oh yeah.
And and someone was watching the Wonder Girls So Hot. And I just clicked it and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And it's just like, I stayed on it for the next, I'd say 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And where should people go to follow you and Tokkistar?
Oh, so on Instagram, we are Tokkistar21. And then on YouTube, we're just Tokkistar.
If you are new here and new to our antics, this is a pop-up episode. And with Pop-Off, every month we put up polls on our Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube community pages at CCTV Pops, and you all get to vote for 3 of our K-pop or K-pop adjacent biggest releases of the month to ballot out in our song, video, and performance rounds. And also, Patreon members get priority choice. Yes, VIP, honey. So make sure you check us out on patreon.com/CCTV Pops. We also do have a free tier, so no pressure. But you're also free to join us however you would like on any tier, okay? And we want to give a shout out to our producers, Emily, George, Lily, Louie, Julianne, Danelle, Shaquille, Jonathan, Jasmine, and Darius.
Woo! All right, so Pop-Off is meant for pure fun. Please don't take it too seriously. You can join in and let us know what wins for you in all the categories in the comments. So this month, you voted for the 8's Orbit, CRAVITY's Now or Never, and Twice's Strategy. So let's get ready to rumble.
Round 1.
First in the ring is player 1, the 8 with Orbit, featuring Jen Debbie Water. And this was done by number 9, Nicole Keem, Vernon, Rob Roy, Jen D.B. Water, and the 8.
So the first round is all about the song itself, the production, the hook, the vocals, the melodies. So Sarah, as our guest, what do you think of Orbit?
So I love the 8. I love Orbit. And I also love that Vernon took part in the creation of the song as well. However, the song isn't something that stands out to me because there's a lot of K-pop artists that are trying to do the dancehall Afrobeat sounds. However, they're not taking it to the next level. There's so much more to Afrobeat music and dancehall music than, Tyla's song Water. And I kind of wish that K-pop artists would explore the genre a bit more. And so for that, it was kind of a letdown for me. But the vocals were there. He sounded good, but overall it was kind of generic.
Ooh wee. You
Yeah.
know what? It's always so interesting, like, having people who, like, listen to the genre that it's derived from, like, make commentary on it because it's like, people like, "What are you guys talking about?" Hello? Like, we what kinda grew up in this, but yeah, no, I know what you mean, like, a Tyla I feel like K-pop definitely follows the trends of the Western artists, like, I always been like, "Oh, yeah, LE SSERAFIM's Easy" kind of reminded me of Victoria Monet, something that she would have done or something that Tinashe could have done, right? And then Tyla, they love her in South Korea. I mean, she's earned it,
Mm.
she works hard, but they love her, and, like, the Afrobeat thing is there, like, before it was, like, tropical house for a really long time, but now it's, like, the Afro beats, but not really. So, I called it, like, a percussive Afro tropical inspiration, because 'cause I'm not sure if I wanna call it Afrobeats completely, but I think I hear not a sitar, but there's, like, a little twangy kind of guitar thing going on, and I think it's a synth, but it's pretty minimal. The song is very atmospheric. I mean, if the goal was to seduce me, consider me seducematized, you know, like, it was so I appreciate the effort of trying to make it sound like it's a conversation with some girl you just met. Um, the chorus lyrics are interesting where it's like, he's like, "I'm here on my own, stuck in your nylon, let's make our own try-ons," and I was like, "First of all, you get stuck in someone's pantyhose, baby? Okay." But the try-ons thing kinda stood out to me because I had to Google it, and if I have to Google something, then I guess I'm a little bit invested. So apparently it's a constellation within the Big Dipper, so I guess he's trying to be the Big
Ooh.
Dipper, honey.
Mm.
So yeah, whoever wrote the song, shout out for that. His voice sounds super smooth and delicate, and I think the song overall is quite bare in terms of, like, his vocal production. I do believe that is could be a testament to A, his vocal ability, and B, the people who are
Mm.
writing on it. I'm not saying that they're bad songwriters, but if you have someone who is not thinking, "Oh, maybe I should add a little bit melisma here, like a little vocal run, or add a little bit of falsetto here," then they won't think to do it. And then whoever else wrote on it wasn't in that mind frame too. And considering that Vernon wrote on it, then maybe some of it was in English and in Korean, because I do not know if he knows Chinese fluently enough to actually, like,
Mm.
contribute in a way that, like, makes sense. So it's interesting how many languages may have been involved in the making of the song for it to finally end up in Chinese. Um, Even though I didn't understand Chinese, I liked how it all sounded within the song. I will say during the bridge part with the feature, it sounded a little clunky. Like, I listened to some Chinese rap here and there, and the cadence kind of got like stuck with some of the
Mm.
multisyllabalisticness of it, and it didn't feel like he was like trying to like do something funky. It just felt like he was like, "I'm gonna finish my verse." Like, "Come hook or
Hmm.
crook, Imma finish this bar." You know what I'm saying? Not like I'm trying to do something different. And if that was the case, I wish the production would have been switched up a little bit to accommodate the little bit of the rhythmic awkwardness that I felt with certain parts. But aside from that, the song is satisfactory. It's better than the song he released, the 8 released 3 years ago. That
Hmm.
one was a little too, like, cheesy for him. So, I think this one's a little bit better in terms of, like, quality for sure.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where he sits, like, as a solo artist.
Mm.
Mm.
And this song doesn't really do anything to change that. I
Mm.
like both of you were saying, it just feels a little generic. Like this could be anyone. Like if I had this on in the background, I
Mm.
would have no idea who is singing this at
Yeah.
all. His voice is, I think it's nice in what it's supposed to sound like for the song with the kind of breathy, dreamy thing,
Mhm.
but his tone isn't that distinctive. And so I don't know, like artistically, then you need to do something else to kind of make yourself stand out. And I don't think this song really does that,
Mhm.
unfortunately.
Mhm.
Uh, but I mean, I think it does what it was written to do. I agree. I like the production. I like how kind of underwater and ethereal it all sounds. It is very easy listening. So like it's kind of nice to have on in the background when you're like reading or cleaning or something like that. But again, my ears wouldn't suddenly perk up when the song comes on, like, it's just kinda there, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just kind of, like, okay with it. This doesn't do anything for me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Very
Oof.
much. Yeah.
sorry. I love that
Yep.
he's singing in Chinese, though, like, it's great that he's able to explore that market.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
If he's a smart bean, he'll be just like the EXO members that left. Hopefully, the A could do what Lay has done and been like, or Tao even, um,
Hmm.
or even Jackson Wang. He's a surprise. But anyway, moving right along to player two, Gravity with Now or Never. And this was done by Oliver Forsmark, BB Elliott, Chris Mayer, Bread Beat, Young to Beat, Bang Hye Hyun, Serim, and Alan of Gravity. All right. So for those who don't know or like to pretend they don't know, I don't know. These are the label mates of IVE. I don't think people realize that, right? Like, because IVE is so big. And yeah, and then they came right after Monster X. Like they came like a really weird. Gravity's been trying to find their sound for a little bit, but this one's a little bit more pop
Yeah, I mean,
punky.
they launched during COVID, didn't they?
Oof, they did, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm,
yeah, their journey has been a little rocky, I guess.
okay,
But
yeah, so Sarah, what do you
yeah,
think about what's happening on their journey now then? Yeah.
Oh, well, I watched the documentary they were in. They were in an
Oh, you
Apple
watched it?
TV.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they talked about that a little bit and said how they were named a digital group because they were never able to perform
Mm,
live
that's
and
wild.
how they almost thought they were AI, all the fans.
Oh,
So I thought that was,
no.
yeah.
A testament to the times. Sorry. All those AI groups were coming out that time too, though. Oh my god. So, what do you think about the song?
The song is I love the song. I specifically love it for CRAVITY. The message is
Mm,
very cute and inspirational, not only for us listeners, but also for the group themselves. Some of my favorite parts are the chorus, mainly the way the beat changes. I love the clock sound. Like any song that has like a tick tick, like a clock sound, it becomes my favorite. It doesn't completely remind me of this, but it sorta reminds me of You Kiss's song Tic Tac. I don't know if you guys have
oh,
heard
Oh,
it.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're talking to the right people. We like a little You Kiss on the show. Mm. I have the same note about the ticking because it creates a good bit of tension. It's like all of this music is building up and then suddenly everything falls away. And to have the now or never be the concept of the song, you have the clock kind of being wound up in the beginning of the song. So that also makes you either like look out for a clock sound or it just kind of gets you into the mood or the atmosphere of the song. It's now or never. It's about time. Time is of the essence. Carpe diem, c'est la vie, all that good
Mm.
stuff. But yeah, I like the little pop punk direction that they're going into because the last track was very much like this. C'est la vie was fun too, but the last two have been very much like give us rock, without sounding too much like Olivia Rodrigo. That sounds like Paramore. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice to have that. No tea, no shade. I'm just when Olivia came out, it was just like pop punk everything. Excuse me. So yes, the song it feels like an actual song and not like a TikTok driven trap, which I appreciate. Because I feel like for a while, a lot of the boy groups were doing this, girl groups too, but like boy groups were trying to make like a viral moment with their songs instead of just like making a song. Don't get me wrong, girl groups do it too. Like, I mean, Magnetic kind of has that whole like earwormy thing and like tic tac
Mm.
and things like that. But this feels like an actual song that I would listen to. I feel like my highlights are like, um, I like how they interwove some of the drill elements into that second verse because drill already has like a very gritty sound, and to have it with like the guitars and the drums adds a second layer without sounding too congested. It wasn't like wow, you reinvented the wheel, but it was a nice sonic switch up. I mean, someone's rapping. It's good that there is something happening there. Yeah, make the rapper rap the drill, but it didn't feel too much out of place. I know it didn't sound too out of place, so I could appreciate it. The chanty voices in the bridge create a very fun moment to like shout along to. I would say my only critique that is that yeah, my only critique is the vocals. The guys sound like
Mm.
princes, and there is no like, you know, no growl, no anguish. And the one time they do have a belting thing, it's not considered like a main track. It's almost treated as an ad lib, and it got mixed as an ad lib. Like it wasn't like beasts singing breath and you have yo sub I don't know and like they're focusing on that, you know what I'm saying? Like it was very much just like here it is, so one of our members can hit this note, you just don't we don't want you to know like who, because we want to just like sing the rest of the song. So I think
Mm.
that's my only kind of thing. I'm missing that the vocal production that says desperation, you know? Time is of the
Yes.
essence. Yeah.
Yes, actually, that was my main kind of critique as well, is I just wish there was a bit more emotion in the vocals because the lyrics do evoke that desperation. And it's like now or never, like there should be an urgency there, and there isn't. It's all just very pure the way that they've sung it and the way it's been produced. So I definitely feel the same way. I think the production actually kind of affects that as well, though, because the drums are
Mm,
really far back in the mix. Uh, and even when the drums kinda get more intense, they still feel quite, held back, I guess. So I feel like
mm,
the energy, the intensity isn't as big as I think it could be. Like, I think this song would probably sound great live with a live band, or I think they even performed a more kind of metal-inspired version on one of
yeah.
the Gaio Daejuns recently as well, that had a
Yeah.
bit more of that intensity in there. So yeah, I don't know, I think they could've just made it. I don't know, they could have taken it to another level. I think they try to keep it kind of very, very clean. But otherwise, I think
Yeah.
melodically, it's great. I think the now or never chant is very
Yeah.
catchy and
Mm.
it's a great chorus. And yeah, the ticking is definitely the best part of the production as well. And yeah, I think it's cool that they're doing this pop rock thing. I think there's
Mm.
definitely a lane for it. And I think, like I said, I think they could go even more intense with it. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
think it goes back to what Sarah was saying previously about like the eight. When you have a Western influence, your job as a producer, as whoever's working on the song, to really delve into it because there are so many drum patterns and pop punk that are iconic. And if they would have kind of just threw that in there, or like even look at Avril, look at somebody other than who's recently making music that sounds like this. Like, I think K-pop is
Mm.
lacking a little bit of like historical depth when it comes to their sonics. Just sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they just do like surface level. And I think it holds people back. But yeah, moving on to the third layer, which is Twice with Strategy featuring Meg D. Stallion. And this was done by Boy Matthew, Cleo T, Ear Attack, Yi Woo Hyun, and Megan B. Stallion. Sarah, kick us right off with this one.
Okay, so Strategy, it was a very fun and bright pop song matched with what I believe is an early 2000s hip hop vibe. And in that song, my favorite parts are definitely the pre-chorus. I'm like a sucker for a good falsetto, and Minna and
Mhm.
Chewy, they really shine during those parts. And we can't forget our girl Megan. H-Town.
Hey.
Ooh, and I feel like she kind of killed her rap verse as always. This was the collaboration I didn't know I needed because Megan and Twice, their auras just match so well, and it just seems so effortlessly. And the song, it was produced by Ear Attack,
Mm-mm. Yeah.
and yeah, he is very well versed in the land of J-pop, not J-pop. Oh my gosh, JYP music. And I think, he did his big one with Strategy. It captures that Western pop sound while also staying true to Twice's signature music style.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I think about that. Yeah.
That's what I think about that. You know, it's interesting that I keep forgetting, and I think a lot of people do that. Twice is in a label where with JYP retro is king, and I tend to forget that, right? Like having that retro sound has always been his thing with his girl groups, but which is so annoying because he lets his boy groups do all this futuristic f- 30, 25 mess everywhere. But I digress. Girl groups, they get the opportunity. They have to kind of stay within this realm of being really retro. I will say with J-pop, with Twice, they do different things. Like I'm still not over some of their J-pop releases because there's like really intense or like it's like or more fierce at times, and I'm like, how did this happen? Or like Donut is like one of my favorite ones, and I'm like, again, that's why is this not like a Korean version? Whatever. I was a little underwhelmed when I first heard the song. I didn't know what to expect at first. Um, like this was the first track where I didn't hear Lindgren. Like I didn't hear Lindgren at all on this, and MJ, my bad, I call her MJ. So Melanie Joy and her husband Lindgren have both been working on the title tracks for many, many years. Some Twice fans are like, and some other Twice fans are like, yay! For me, I'm like, yeah, because I never not liked the songs. I never not like the songs because they have a dynamic chorus. They have moments of the song where are really catchy. Like people still go whiskey, whiskey, wiki, wiki. They wrote the song, y'all. Hello, can't stop me. She wrote the song, y'all. This one, it took me a second to find something special about that chorus. The post-chorus, "They boy, Imma get ya." That's what caught me, not that, "My
Mm.
strategy, strategy." It is boring.
Yeah.
It's boring. That chorus does not do anything for me. It doesn't mean people are untalented songwriters. It's just unfortunately for me, it's almost a little too like, we're cool chill girls. I don't need hand in the pocket chill guy. I need something to happen here. And it didn't happen. But there are moments of the song, like the bridge after Meg's verse, fun. There are moments in the verse where I'm like, "Oh yeah, fun." But for your chorus to not be dynamic or as interesting as the verses, that was a little like, "Oh, interesting." I'm surprised that the whole song was in English. When I heard it, I was like, "Mhm, the Cream's gonna come in sooner or later." It never did. And I was like, "Oh, okay." The Megan collaboration may seem random to some people, but if you are a Megan fan or if you're just Twice fan, whatever, they were on Megan 2, and they did the Watashi wa Star song. Because nobody really actually knows the Japanese name, so I'm just gonna say the Watashi wa Star song. So the girls did do that, and they had like a whole little exchange in terms of song. So yeah, it's great. I'm glad that Megan wasn't being too like Tina. She didn't bring out Tina Snow on this, which I'm glad about because Tina Snow was a little too much. Um, but yeah, I feel like this song would do decently on AC urban radio, and that sounds so specific. But like you said, it does sound like an old hip hop, like pop, like Mariah Carey could have sang on it. As someone else was rapping on the verses.
Yeah.
Mariah would have wrote a better chorus though, but I digress. I don't dislike the song, but it was definitely a grower for me, is what I'm gonna say.
Mm, same.
What you
Yeah, the first time I heard it, I didn't think too much of it. But
Yeah.
as I kept listening to it and I started watching the visuals and stuff, it grew on me quite a lot, actually.
Mhm.
And I think it's kind of perfect for where Twice is at the moment, because
Yeah.
I think they really know where they are
Yes.
sonically, and I feel like they're at that point in their career now where they don't really have anything they need to prove, and they don't really need to push the boundaries too much if they don't want to.
Mm.
So I
Right.
think this is a solid addition to their discography. I think the production is cool, like all the sliding synths. I love the
Mhm.
strings at the beginning. There's some interesting elements there. I almost have the same comment though that I had with the other two tracks in that vocally I wish there was a bit more, like, cheekiness in there. You get that for
Mm.
sure with some of the, "Hey, boy." Again, like, you get that a
Yeah.
little bit with some of those, but then the chorus and stuff, like, it's not flirtatious enough for me. I don't know, like, I want a cheekiness in there. Like, if I imagine, like, I don't know, like, the Saturdays or, like, one of, like, the more, like, British pop girl groups that could probably sing something like this, there's, like, there'd be more of, like, a wink, wink kind of aspect to
Mm.
how they sing it, and this
Yeah.
one, again, just feels very clean, and I get that's, like, kind of the K-pop aesthetic,
Mhm.
but I feel like they could go a little sexier with it, like
Mm.
add some like vocal fry in there, add like a little more breathy mixed with some belting. Give me some textures throughout it,
Ooh.
because lyrically I think it's very cheeky, and you don't
Yeah.
really hear that other than the "Hey boy, I'ma get ya" parts.
You know
So
what? I think
yeah.
harmonies probably would have helped that out.
Mm.
Something to
Mm.
kind of really
Yes.
I get what you're saying, cause like the got you on my da da" having an extra layer of vocals, that lower voice would have probably made it sound a little bit more like, "Ooh, okay, yeah, ooh, yeah."
Mm.
I get what you what could have been? Oh, okay, wow, listen, we're at the end of the round. So, carrots, Levity, once listen, guys, don't chew us out. Join us in the discussion, all right? We're gonna pick our faves for this round, for the song round. There's 2 more other rounds. Feel free to drop yours in the comments below. Don't be biased or do whatever. But Sarah, kick us off. Who wins the round for song for you?
I think I'm gonna choose Gravity. Yeah.
Let's be real here. I have been singing the Twice song a lot more because it's catchier, but because we got to get ready for this show, I feel like CRAVITY's song as a whole is better. So I'm gonna give it to CRAVITY. too. Yeah,
Hmm.
Gravity for me.
Ooh, interesting. I was definitely
Yeah.
between the two as well, but I'm actually going to give it to Twice
Yeah, I
here.
figured you would. I figured you
Yeah.
would.
Round 2.
We're now moving on to round 2, which is all about the music video. So Chantel, kick us off. What do you think of Orbit by The Eight?
The 8 video is really nice, right? So you got the neutrals, the beige palette. It was so satisfying to look at. Like with the song called Orbit, you could have done like space station, silver chromes, done a lot of very futuristic intergalactic mess. But it felt super grounded with the sand, and they only had like a galactic body reveal at the end of the video, like a full body, where she was like, Homegirl was getting it. Galactica was getting it at the end. Okay, she said, "Ooh, baby, baby," she was getting it. See now, maybe because I didn't watch Dune, I could see the Dune thing because I was like
Yes.
looking up some
Mm.
research, but I was thinking Tatooine from Star Wars,
Oh, that works too.
right? If you guys have never seen Star Wars, it's that dusty ass planet that Luke Skywalker grows up on. So before Dune, there was Star Wars and Luke Skywalker's dusty ass planet. But yeah, Dune makes sense. I love the scenes with the falling sand. The falling sand was great. Um, and the certain scenes with him, like in the water, and so I'm not into the bird chest thing, but honey, I was kind of sold. I was like, oh, the water on his shoulders. I was like, the liquid water on his shoulders. I was like, ooh, okay, where's that at? So I think the video did a good job of making him come across as kind of like a what's that word? Sex symbol. That's the word in pop that people like to use. Like he's hot, he's sexy, he's young, he wants you, girl. And it gave that. I love the dancing scenes that have him illuminated in the back. Because I think they filmed it in the same like structure that they filmed Kai's video. So
Mm.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think the dance scenes definitely stood out to me the most. The styling was good. It just the overall vibe of the video made sense to the song, which I appreciate because honey, we've seen some videos and I'm like, girl, the curtains don't match the drapes. So this one actually matched and I appreciate it.
Yes,
Yeah.
this video definitely elevates the song. I love how cold it all feels
Mhm.
because I agree. I'm glad they didn't go too obvious with kind of the
Mm.
space stuff, but
Yeah.
because of the way they did it, it does still feel like he is kind of somewhere cosmic,
Yeah.
right? So I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool, and I think all the scenes were awesome. I love that rock garden area, all the lasers, and yeah, the dune room with the sand raining down. Yeah, I
I
definitely
bet.
got Dune. That was my very first thought, but that's funny. You're right. Tatooine was first. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Eight
Mhm.
has always been one of the members of 17 that I don't pay as much attention to in the group
Mhm.
music videos because I
Uh,
get that his thing is kind of this kind of stoicness. He's very model-esque, and he kind of I don't know. He doesn't. His thing is that he's like so good that he doesn't have to try that hard. That's kind of his vibe, and I get that. But then I feel like other members are just a bit more charismatic, so I tend to just
mhm.
kind of gravitate towards the others. So to see him alone is just interesting. I think that stoicness works in the context of this song and this video. So I think
Mm.
that's great just from a branding perspective. So yeah,
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. It definitely made me like the song more.
So I thought it had a really majestic, cool vibe. It
Mm.
was super artistic and a bit minimalistic, if you said.
Yeah.
And I remember I was researching it a little bit, and Christian Haas, he directed the video. And he's
Mm.
also worked on some other projects with XG, and you could kind of see his style in this project. He
Hmm.
likes to use a lot of architecture in his videos, which I think adds a lot of texture to make everything feel more layered, even with simple concepts. And I think it told the story pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, simple and effective video. Like
Mhm.
moving on to CRAVITY with Now or Never. Um, Now they went for the full on Interstellar vibe. That's another movie that was really popular in Korea, if I'm not mistaken. Interstellar. Have y'all seen that movie?
Yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah, no, it is. I know, but like they love it
Mhm.
out there. Like
I didn't know that. Interesting.
yeah, like there's certain things of icon like the Little Prince they love out there too. I don't know what it is, but certain things stick out to them. Like Tyla, I would have never figured all that booty popping. They love her out there. Okay, and Tinashe, I'm mad that she never capitalized on that, but that's a whole nother
You're
conversation.
right. She really should. She still could. She
She
still
could.
could.
They love
Yeah.
her. Okay. Anyway, the video for Gravity's space station, the theme was cute, but not like cute where it's like, oh, baby cute. It was like, oh, there's a story here. But the story wasn't so involved where I feel like I need to like watch a bunch of other videos to know what's happening. It's pretty much cut
Mm.
and dried from beginning to the end. I feel like there was not really much of like a to be continued because of how it ended, which I will be talking about a little bit later because they got lucky with the time they released this video. So let's just foreshadowing a little bit. But the way they combine the everyday life of these boys combined with what was happening in the outer space situation and like constellations crashing into each other so they have that kind of like a woven with the guys actually running into each other and they're like wandering on planets like it's very involved and it is a lot to look at but I kept coming back to figure out like oh how is this connected how is that connected there's not for me like a huge
Mm.
story to their lore as a group. I like the videos where it's just like here's a lot of crap happening in this one video. It's an isolated incident. Compartmentalize this and then throw it away because the next video we have will have nothing to do with this. I like the iconography of the boomerang that they were using. The boys look good. I do not know who is who. I am so sorry. This is not a group whose names I've learned, but songs I have, like Adrenaline. I love one of their songs, Adrenaline. But I actually wanted to get to know some of them because the performance in certain scenes maybe like, stood out to me. The exploding part at the end, that part kind of took me out. Again, it's very dramatic. I know it
Mm.
fits the theme. It kind of raised the stakes as to why now or never is very important. But when I saw that, shocked the crap out of me. I was like, are they? Did they just unalive these kids? Like that's what I don't. That's one part of the video. I'm just like, oh Jesus, that was a little bit much. But aside from that, the video I think is wonderfully executed. Wonderfully executed. Even some of the CG, I was like, that needs some work. But aside from that, like the dance scene with the CG, I don't care for. But aside from that, everything else was pretty good.
The whole asteroid concept was fun because I don't know, just kind of it made you want to pay attention to see what was going to happen. Like the fact
Mm.
that they just started and they just say kind of at the bottom, like, oh, this comet or this asteroid, was here. And you're not really sure what's happening because of those kind of flashes of kind of the different places. Like my favorite of those flashes was I think they're focused on someone's shoe and you see
Oh
someone's
yes,
shoe just like in various places and planets and stuff. And I was like, oh, that
yes.
was really awesome. And it was those types of things that made it very interesting. And I loved the outdoor dancing shots. Like the way they did it
Mhm.
almost looked a little eerie. But then also it
Mhm.
was just
Oh.
like these boys just kind of hanging out in the woods, so it shouldn't be eerie. But then the way they shot it, it just kind of felt that way. So yeah, I almost feel like they didn't need all the in studio dance scenes because all the
Right.
outside stuff was very cool. I feel like the
Yes.
really clean in studio stuff was almost kind of redundant. I don't know, just not really needed.
Not as yeah,
Uh,
same.
but yeah, I think it was great. It keeps that intensity that I want. It
Mhm.
has that
I
intensity that I want from the song itself. And there is that urgency there. So I
Mhm.
appreciate it. I thought they did a really good job with this one for sure.
Yes, Sarah. So I love the theme and concept. I believe it matched that, live free, die hard mentality the song kind of has. Like,
Mm.
do what you want now before it's too late.
Mm.
Yeah. And I feel as
Oh,
though
yeah.
they told the story. Yeah. And I feel as though they told the story pretty beautifully. And I did think, yes, that some of the CGI looked a bit, not After Effects, but, a little Windows Movie Maker.
Ooh.
Oh,
That is gold. I love that. When I said CapCut, she said window.
yeah.
Dang, that's taking it back. Oh my gosh. All right. So, 'cause that's hilarious. The last both of y'all, the last player is Twice with strategy. This video is super clean. Like like you mentioned, like Chris, the girls are at this point where they don't have anything else to show. Like I think on one like variety show, the girls were like, "We got to show our more mature selves. We've done that so many times, but how much more mature can we get?" And it's true. Like at this point, how much more mature can they get? Um, I like the flirtiness of everything. I like how the girls were really experimenting with like the Western style of makeup because a lot of them had a little bit more contour than the use. The stylings just felt more personalized to like who they are as, people. I love certain looks like Gio's little New York hat with the tiara on it and her baggy jeans. Mina looked like really sexy and flirty in her skirt, like little moments like that. The styling does really matter because if it makes me want to recreate the outfit, then honey, you've done your job. You've done your job. I like how um a lot of the scenes are just like white wall, giant prop. The girls are having a moment. And when it's not just like this clean imagery, it's them at a shooting range trying out knives and guns and not guns. That's not right. Trying out knives and other artillery to kind of try their strategy. Like this could be a dangerous strategy, could be a flirty strategy. Either way, you're gonna fall for me. And I enjoy it. Like the girls have a nice level of kind of like sex appeal too, like Momo in the furry car. It's still kind of cute, but she's giving so much face. It's like, ooh, is she really being cute or is she being cheeky? And I think it's the latter. Um, I think obviously Meg's scene was a little phoned in, like on the roof. But I appreciate that they kind of figured out what camera that everyone was using so it didn't look like, "Oh, we filmed this with the Nikon." Well, I filmed this one with my phone. Matter of fact, I filmed it with a potato. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. I like the scene with all the girls and Meg because obviously they worked together and they couldn't do too much considering the schedule because only like what I think 7 of them are there out of the 9 that should be there or 6 of them. So it was fun to kind of see the whole interaction between them because it makes it also feel less like, hey, the label paid for this, because that
Mhm.
really matters. I think I think my favorite scene probably is just like the pink, like baggy pants stuff. But overall, I think overall the video is just more about them just performing to the camera and being grown women, which I'm always here for, honey.
Mm.
It may not have all the bells and whistles as the Gravity, or may not be as like cool, artsy, fartsy, like the 8, but whoever works on the girls' memory board, no, vision board, that keeps it consistent. And I don't think I've ever like disliked their videos. Honestly, I can't say I've ever like disliked any of the girls' videos.
Yeah, this video is great. I love the magazine or book concept. Like all of those
Yeah,
transitions coming in and out of that were really, really well done. And yeah, I
yeah.
think they all look really good. The confidence is really there for sure. There's definitely a power to them as a group as
Mhm.
well. We've
Yeah.
through the show this past year, we've reviewed a lot of the solo stuff and
Yeah.
we've had mixed reactions to that. But honestly, as a full group, there definitely is
Yeah,
a power to them. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's great to kind of feel that confidence from them.
Yeah.
I will say, I have to shout out Jiho. Every time we review
oh my
Twice,
god,
I shout
yes.
her out. Oh my god, but
Yeah,
she is just like such the absolute clear star for me because every time she
yeah,
comes out, like the first time she comes out for that chorus, it's like
yes,
she just grabs your attention instantly. Her facial expressions are so genuine and effortless. Like she is just such a clear pop star, and I needed to give her all the props. So yes, just needed to shout her out. And yeah, I agree with you. That shot of them walking in the V with Momo at the
yeah,
front and the pink hoodies, that is such a good shot. Super, super powerful. And yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's fun. It does the job for sure.
So I love the video. I love the magazine concept. However, I was really focused on what was going on behind them when they were dancing because I saw a roller coaster and then that kind of made me think about their album Twice Coaster. And I started to think about theories and things like that. But overall, the video was great and very well shot.
Wait, so what were some of those theories? And anything come out of that?
I don't really know, but I feel like it has some sort of connection to their entire discography. I don't
Ooh.
really know yet, but I feel like it has some sort of connection.
Yeah, they're not like a lore group, but like they'll do their thing where it's like you'll see the coaster or like you'll like the Likey video had like the coaster and the next album was like, oh, twice coaster. So it kind of came like that. So it might be like one of those like, since we re-signed our contract, we're gonna give you like we're gonna give you peak era twice. Who knows? But yeah. So who takes this round for everyone? I'm gonna say, ooh, it is between Gravity and Twice. The video I kept going back to though while we were doing research was definitely Twice because I just the girls were girling. Oh my god.
Yeah, these are all quite different.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I kind of want to give it to Gravity just because I think it has the most replay value because of kind of
Oof.
all
Yeah.
like the eerie shot and like the quick millisecond
Yeah.
shots of things. There's just a lot to
Yeah.
look at in there. So yeah, I'll give it to Gravity for this one. How about you, Sarah?
Me, I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it to Twice this round. Yeah.
8, listen, man, Ming Hao, still love you, boy. You be killing it.
Yes. Well,
oh,
maybe he'll win round 3. We'll see because we're
ooh,
here.
yes.
And it is about the performance choreography round.
Round 3.
We'll go back to the 8. Okay. So with the 8, so we don't have any performances. We just have a couple dance videos and performance
Yeah.
version videos, which is unfortunate because I am kind of curious how what would change, I guess, in front of a crowd. Because going back to
Mhm.
what I said earlier about his kind of brand being this kind of very stoic, kind of, I don't need to try that hard kind of thing. Like in that dance video, he literally makes no expressions at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
So I'm going to be honest, watching that, I'm watching the dancers more than I'm watching him, which isn't
Mm,
Oh,
great. Especially
no.
because there's a lot in this choreo that gives him a lot of freedom. So there's a lot of moments where
yes.
maybe it's choreographed, but a lot of it does feel like he's just kind of grooving and stuff. But then the dancers are
Yes.
actually doing stuff in the back, so I'm gonna kind of like switch my attention there. So yeah, I'm just curious how it'd be different in front of a crowd. So I look forward to watching him perform it. But overall, I think the choreo is good. I think there's
Mhm.
definitely some very stereotypical dance hall movements in there for sure.
Yeah.
And from watching the dancers as well, they don't sit into things, I think, the way that an authentic dance hall instructor or choreographer would teach it.
Yes.
So that did
Yeah.
stand out to me a little bit, but I think it fits the song. I love how smooth it is. Like they all
Oh,
make
yeah.
it look so easy, and especially there's a part like at the start of the chorus that's super quick and intricate, but the way they all execute it, it looks super smooth and easy. So I thought that was really awesome. And there's some
Mhm.
really cool pictures in there, and it's just some nice musicality moments in there. So yeah, I thought it was enjoyable to watch. Uh, but I don't know. I need to see him do it in front of a crowd, I think, to kind of make
Right.
up my whole mind. Yeah, Sarah, what did you think of this one?
So yeah, I do kind of agree that the choreography wasn't as high energy or that it could be because it was kind of like him just swaying around and then them dancing around him a little bit.
Mhm.
But then I would say that is kind of like that matches the theme of orbit. 'Cause, they go around.
That makes sense. The orbit thing and them circling them all, the formations are very circular as well too. Um, I like the beginning of the dance where the dancers come in. It makes him look so cool. Like you said, the whole effortless, like, it definitely is there. He is definitely known for his dancing as well. He does b-boy. I'm not saying he had to sit there and bust out a windmill or anything like that in this dance. I'm not saying he had to do any of that, but he is capable of a lot more. I do wonder if his previous injury have been like a testament to like why
Oh,
there wasn't a lot of choreography. But then when the bridge part comes around with the rapping, suddenly he's hitting moves and stuff, and I'm like, "You seem healed." So I think maybe it is a little bit more of like the vibe, the vibe. But again, it could just be like an injury thing, like not you don't want to do something too aggressive because the choreography was not aggressive, very smooth. Everything does look effortless. So when the choreography does get more active, it does seem more impactful to me as opposed to having everything explode. I do believe much right? I do believe, much like Chris, that with a performance in front of a crowd, that would be the determining factor as to whether or not all this, you know, jamming by yourself and shadow boxing alone actually makes sense. Because if you're not singing live and you don't have to move that much, then I'm going to kind of side eye you. You know what I'm saying? But he hasn't had a chance to actually sing. But if he was singing,
Mm.
had the mic on, and then needed those moments to kind of shadow box by himself, then yeah, I totally get it. But if it's just you lip syncing and you couldn't give me a clean, consistent, about 4, 5, 8 counts of actual choreography, sir, I'm be looking at the choreographer like, why? You know,
Mhm.
why? Why? So my thing is, if you're known for dancing, then you better dance your tail off and then lip sync the rest. But if not, I hope he is singing live when he does do it.
Yes.
But yeah, that's just my opinion on that one for sure.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, moving on to player 2 with CRAVITY, Now or Never. So yeah, I think it's so funny because obviously we're looking at two kind of older pop artists, and then we have CRAVITY, who's very young. So this whole
Yeah.
choreography just feels so like I'm tired just watching them. Because it's a lot for sure.
Oh
I
my
would
god,
actually say the
yes.
beginning is probably my favorite part of the choreo when it's actually kind of at its slowest because it's a lot of them just like melting. There's like all these asymmetrical formations and stuff that I think are really interesting to see.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little crazy once they kind of get into it. I will say it's a lot of arm throwing. Like I don't know if y'all know, it's just a lot,
Yeah.
Mm.
like a lot of
Yeah.
this, just a lot of like arms and elbows and just like arms kind of being hit
Yes.
out, um, which is fine. Uh, but there wasn't. I don't think. Is there a point dance in this? Because if there is,
Yeah,
I
the now
couldn't.
or never. But
Oh, is it that?
yeah,
Oh.
I look
Oh,
crazy, but
Oh,
yeah.
that's what they
okay.
do for the TikToks?
I get,
Oop.
but that's hard because they have to like
Yeah,
jump and like it's very athletic.
it
Okay.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
I tried. I
Um,
tried. I don't know.
look, I think they execute it well.
Ah.
I think I'm just not really sure what emotion they're trying to convey with this choreography. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Mm.
But I guess it's kind of hard because the song itself it's relatively vague. I don't know. It's just a lot of like I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it.
Mm.
It just doesn't really
No.
make that much impact on me. Like watching them perform, it does not make me like the song more, unfortunately.
Mm.
Mm.
Like what you were saying, I agreed with because it was like they were trying to do some sort of interpretive dance, and it wasn't coming out all the way. Maybe because I don't want to get on the choreographer, but it's like maybe the training wasn't all the way there. It sort of reminded me of a dancer who is more into popping and locking, and then they throw him into like a ballet class and say, "Do it."
Then
Almost
say
like
do
Mm.
that.
it. So basically there's a seems to be a conflict of texture. I think the textures, the softer textures came like obviously the song is calling for this moment because it's a pre-hook. We have to be soft and moving. But I think my biggest thing, this going on what you're saying, is compounding what you're saying. I've choreographed a dance that's very thematic. Like they have to be creepy and blah blah blah, right? And there's a section of it where it gets aggressive. I'm like, you guys have to be gangster zombies. They're like, what? What the heck is a gangster zombie? I'm like, awkward angles, but you're aggressive. The first part of the song, you're a sad zombie. You're awkward angle, but it's a lot more like the most the body language is giving. I'm in pain. I'm anguish. Grab your head. That things like that. And I get what you're saying, guys, in terms of like it's just the curtains didn't match the drapes a little bit. I think this dance probably could have really benefited from more canon, like more ripples. If you're talking about now or never, that's the time to have someone start a ripple and you're moving and the line kind of moves to don't do it too much, but create that like flashback Kyle Hanagami after school effect for those who are like old K-pop fans. Newer K-pop fans, I'm trying to think of a ripple that y'all might know. I can't think of one because the
Mm.
flashback one is like really iconic. But I think that would have been good, like, kind of having more playing around with the timing of the dance or creating more visual pictures in terms of, like, where the guys are standing. You could even create, like, a visual clock with the arms. I think if they would have leaned a little bit more in terms of time, hands going around a clock, something that utilizes less of like dance to every beat and every cadence of my voice, it would have been a little bit nicer. I don't hate the choreography. It's not bad choreography. There's some nice grooves here and there. The now or never thing, I realized what that was, and I was like, yeah, that's fun. Um, but yeah, and also I hate that the boys don't actually have a live performance of this song. Like they did what the band version that's on I forgot what the Content Village. It is mixed to all hell. So it sounds like they took the recorded
Mm.
version, like the session, and slotted it in while the band was playing. And I'm so disappointed because CRAVITY can actually sing. Like they have a couple members in that group that are like, wow, you know?
Mm.
So yeah, I feel like overall the song is not bad. The choreography is not bad. A lot of things are not bad, but it's just shy of being great. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Only because of little things that are holding them back. Like, why are they not singing live except at radio show? Why are they dancing so much where the belt that happens, no one's really paying attention to? Why is that no one knows what the point choreography is because we're trying to show how good dancers we are instead of being like, here's an iconic moment. So things like that can take a person out. Like if you're a Lovity, awesome, love that for you, sweetheart. But for people like us who aren't huge fans, why should I like them? And it's true. Like
Mhm.
I did not want to come back and learn this dance. Wanting to learn the dance is important. The dance making me like the song more is important, especially if you're going to focus on so much choreography. So it's not an insult toward the boys because the boys are talented. I just think overall it's almost like good and bad on each category, you know? So potential's there though. We're still holding out hope.
Yes. Yes. And moving on to player 3, we have Twice Strategy. So yeah, I think this choreo, it's effective. It definitely fits the song. It's very feminine, very flirty. I love the little kind of subtle movements. Like I feel like in the verses, they've left it quite conversational, where one person can kind of come out and do their thing, and the rest of the group is almost like listening to them, and they just like have like a hip hit or like a little moment to
Mm.
kind of react to
Mhm.
what that one person is singing about. So yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
was all really, really cute. I think the one part that I thought was a little awkward is when they're all for the chorus, the actual strategy like head nods. Some of them are just like in weird positions, so they're just kind of like trying to like get their angles right. So that was just the only thing that that I noticed. But you know, speaking of ripples, this one has a lot of ripples, which are super super effective, and it matches the way the song goes. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about the wing flapping for that one
Oh, the
part. Not my favorite, but it's memorable. So you know, I guess
uh,
I guess if you're going for a point dance that's memorable,
mm,
that's it. Uh,
mm.
but yeah, I think it's good for what it is. It's fun. They seem to have a lot of fun performing it. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I have to say for that. How about you, Sarah?
Valid.
So I had a love-hate relationship with the choreography. So you were talking about the wing part.
Hmm.
That was the part, yeah. It
Okay.
reminded me of that. It reminded me of that one move from SNSD Lionheart. And it's always,
Mm,
yeah,
the legs are like
yeah.
spread. Yeah.
And I noticed that a lot of companies, when they're trying to do a mature song, they always add a weird move. And but yeah, there were some parts I liked, some parts I didn't like. I think the main part I liked was actually the kick. I thought that was kind of funny. I was like, I wonder if they like kicked each other like in practice. But yeah.
You
Overall,
know,
it was okay.
that's funny. Okay, so for me, I my biggest gripe with the song was the kick because I was like, "Why y'all doing a taekwondo kick in the middle?" Hey, boy, I'm like, "Why are we kicking?" It was giving kick in the door. Like, you gonna love me, boy. That threw me off so but I can't say I like that. That cannot say I like it. But it stood out to me. And again, this is what I'm talking about what I said with Gravity. Even though none of us really like that chicken wing flap, or we kind of have like a love-hate relationship with that weird little kick, we remember it. It does not mean that it's a better dance. It's a better dance move, but it's memorable, right? And to what you were saying, Chris, about the girls doing a call response in that choreography, That is so fun. And again, it goes with the theme of the song. The vocals do this whole call and response kind of thing, or like a little like a yeah, girl kind of thing. And the dance reflects that. It's all about following the theme. Like I know they're a girl group, I know they're a boy group, but there should be a thematic element in it. Um, I do like the canons as well. I think they navigate that rap section that does not exist when they perform on the shows well, but they performed it with Young G on Young G's show, and they
Yes.
navigated it well. They sung live on that as well. Overall, I think the girls all look like they're actually given something because this song does not
Ooh.
require as much energy as like a lot of their other songs we have, like, "Can't Stop Me" required all of them to be like, "Snap, snap, hit it, pada." This right here is kinda cute. It's flirty, so whatever you're bringing as a woman in the situation is appropriate. So Chewy being kind of more demure with her approach, that's fine.
Hmm.
Jihyo being more feisty with her approach, that's fine.
Yeah,
Chaeyoung
it
being the
works.
edgy one, everything works. So this is the concept that fits all of them. Like, do they stand out in their own ways? Absolutely, but I can't say I sat here and I was like, "Oh my god, this one does not. Oh god." Like
Yes,
there's been
we've
some
done
time.
that before with them. Let's be real.
Right, we have.
Yeah.
So, but this dance, it was like everyone fit, everyone it just made sense for everyone, you know? And I love the
Hmm.
styling for this too. Like I've always had a big issue with how they styled Jungyeon. I still don't care for it completely, but at least they're not dressing her like she's a freaking soda bottle. Cause they'll just be like, "Oh, here, throw this on." And put a skirt on it. Like, don't do that. But this time they actually like showed off her legs, showed off her like her décolleté. Like it was giving. And I'm like, thank you. Stop hiding her. So yeah, I appreciate everything that was happening here.
Okay. Okay, so we're at the end of the round. So time to
Yes.
choose a winner of the choreography round. I will give it to Twice. I think it was just the most entertaining of the three. It's kind of hard, like we said, to put the eight in here because he just really gives us nothing in that dance
Mm.
practice, and that's all we have to go off of for the most part. Uh, but yeah, I will give it to Twice. How about you, Sarah?
I'll give it to Twice as well because their choreography, just like Chantel said, it was memorable. We remembered it. And I couldn't even tell you what the eight was doing half of the time, or even Gravity. I love
Yeah.
them, but the dance just it wasn't there. But yeah.
Word up. And I will also give it to Twice. They took it just for the reason I've already expressed throughout this whole category. Let's do earlier.
Hmm. Okay, so overall thoughts and an overall winner, Sarah, as our guest, let us know.
Oh, it has to be Twice. Twice because they came in and they gave fans exactly what they wanted because so many people were saying like, "Oh, they might have lost their sound." But this kind of brought it back in a sense almost. That fun, that pop sound that we hadn't heard from them in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Word up. Yeah, like I mentioned, like JYP's girl groups have always gotten like retro songs, and they kind of did deviate from that for a little bit. But yeah, Twice is gonna take it from me as well. Like even though I didn't pick it for the song round, they could have won had Gravity not been there. But yeah, I think overall they have been around for a really long time. But the song has the catchiness. The song has the vocals, the rap in it, the other that both of those other songs have. The video is good. It's cohesive. We all like the visuals there, and then the performance is also pretty solid. So I think overall, all together, everything was right. Everything was right. Even with the like I said, little awkward like, girl, what's that? It wasn't like, oh, that's terrible. I hate it. Take it out.
Yes. Yes. I agree with both of your points. I will also go with Twice on this one. And yeah, the song really has grown on me quite a lot, actually. I actually listen, I'm happy to listen to it again.
Yes, right.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Good for them. Honestly, I go to their shows every time they come around. So I mean, I try not to be biased when they get on the show. I really do try. Yeah. All right. Once, lovely carrots. Y'all, we've had a crazy bunch of rounds. Be civil in the comments or not, but just know someone's gonna come for you in those comments. So be nice, or they won't be nice either. All right. Just want to send a special thank you out to you, Sarah of Tokkistar, for joining us. Could you please plug yourself one more time, proudly, loudly, for our listeners?
Well, thank you guys for having me. And you guys can follow us on Tokistar.com, Tokistar21 on Instagram. We're also on Threads under Tokistar21 as well. We're not really on Twitter anymore, but YouTube as well under Tokistar.
Yes, guys, and we are also, of course, available on all platforms. So make sure you comment and DM us at CCTV Pops to let us know what wins the pop off for you. And make sure you hit those follow and subscribe buttons because we have some really fun episodes coming up and more guests coming onto our show. That's right. We are almost at 5,000. We are at 3,500 subscribers, but join our CCTV crew. We saw the stats. You watch our videos. Join the crew. Come on. Also, come join our Patreon. We do have a free tier, but of course, we do have a paid option. So if you want to support us in that way, we would love that too. But all are welcome. Give us your opinion. Let us know how you feel. Until next time, that's Chris.
That's Chantel and Sarah.
We're signing off from CCTV, the nonstop pop show.